Hi dear students, and welcome back to the class. We are doing the chapter light, reflection and refraction. In the previous class we were doing the ray diagram for the image formation by convex lens, and we have understood two different conditions, like if the object is placed between the optical center and focus, then what will be the nature of the image in the case of convex lens, and if the object is placed beyond the center of curvature, in that case also what will be the nature of image. So let's continue the same topic, and then we'll move to the ray diagram for the concave lens also. So let's start the topic now. So we are doing the ray diagrams, that is image by lens, that is convex lens we are doing. And in the previous class we understood two different conditions or situations. Now we are going for third, that is if the object is placed, let's take object between F and C, that is if the object is placed between focus and center of curvature, then what will be the nature of image formed by the convex lens. And for this again we need to go for the ray diagram. And once we have understood the concepts, then ray diagram is not a difficult task. So very first, repeating again, make the convex lens, give proper shape to the lens, and at the center draw the dotted line which can show the aperture, we can say. Then principal axis properly passing through the center of the lens, and that is also called optical center O. And then we have to give equal divisions both the side from the center. So let's take 4 and 4. I'm taking now. Say are you taking here 4 and 4. So choice is yours, how much gap you give, but the gap should be uniform, same throughout. So this is my F2 C2 F1 C1. Okay, so this is very important. This part is also very important. If this is not so correct, then entire ray diagram will be wrong. So that is to be taken care. Your line should be straight, and the lens should be perpendicular to the principal axis. The division should be equal, and measurement should be done from the center of the lens, that is optical center. So that is how we have to do. Now the condition is object between F and C, and we have to place in the left hand side. F and C means between focus and center of curvature. So we are basically talking about F2 and C2. So even if it is not given F2 and C2, it is understood we have to place the object between focus and center of curvature in the left hand side. So one thing we understood, the object has to be upright above the principal axis. Okay, and then let's go for the rule we know. So very first thing, we can take a ray of light parallel to the principal axis. Diagram should be neat and clean. Arrow mark should be there. Without this arrow mark, the ray diagram has no importance. Sorry, no meaning, we can say. So this is my A and B, where AB is showing the object, and we are looking for the image. So we know the ray parallel to the principal axis will pass through the focus other side. So let it pass through F1. Again be careful in the ray diagram, and try to extend the line maximum, so that because we don't know where the two rays will meet together. Okay, now we need one more ray of light. This is the first ray only, so let's take another ray. We can take through F2, we can take through optical center. If you take through F2, it will become parallel. If I take through O, it will go straight away. The choice is yours. Any ray diagram you can take, and if I see this ray of light, if it is not falling on the lens, then you can increase the length of the lens also. So since that is not happening here, the lens is having less length, so what we can do, we can take passing through the optical center. So take care your line should be straight away, because for me it's quite difficult to handle the scale. But you always remember your line should be straight. It should not be bending anywhere in between. It should be single line. So here we can say this is the ray of light passing through optical center, and that will pass straight away. So we got the first ray this one, second ray this one, and they seem to meet at this particular point, and this point is nothing but image of A, that is A prime. So extend this line and join this point, and this line which we are going to draw should be perpendicular to the principal axis. So this is nothing but your image A prime B prime. So I hope diagram is clear. So we took first ray parallel to the principal axis, that passes through F1, okay, and another ray of light passing through optical center, and it will not deviate, it will go straight away, and they are basically converging at a point A prime, which is the image of A, and B prime is the image of B. So now from this simple diagram we can write down the characteristics. So here A prime B prime is the image, no doubt. And if I talk about the characteristics, so image is very first real, you can see, and inverted also. So from diagram we can find out it's real because ray is converging, and it is inverted because A prime is below the principal axis, and even if you see directly, this is quite bigger as compared to the object, so image is magnified also. And you can also see where is the image forming. So image is forming beyond C1. So you can write down formed beyond C1, or center of curvature we can say. So that is a very simple diagram, and just by the simple rules we are able to get the entire characteristics of the image. So I hope you understood. If I place the object between C and F, anywhere in between these two positions, image will be magnified, real, inverted, and it will be beyond C1. There will be a minor shift in the position of the image depending upon where you place the object between C and F, but all the time characteristics will be same. Okay, so let's go for a few more cases, and rest you can try yourself at home, and you must practice, otherwise your ray diagram will not be so clear. So let's go for number 4, and let's try object at focus. So now we are going to place the object at focus itself, and let's see what we will get. So again, very first draw the lens, and always remember lens should be thin lens, it should not be thick. But for clarity of the image and ray diagram, we draw the thick lens, but the lens should be thin enough. And all the rules we are basically applying here are applicable mostly in the case of thin lens. Okay. So now this is our center, somewhere this side, and from here we have to do the measurements. So this is my center point O. Again, let's take equal division both the side, and approximation will not help. Always remember, in the case of ray diagram, you should be perfect in the measurement, okay, otherwise it will not show you the proper result. So this is my F2, C2, F1, C1. So the situation given to us is object at focus, means in front side, that is we are talking about F2, okay. So we must place it at this particular position, and let's see what will happen to the image. So we'll do the same thing again and again. A ray of light parallel to the principal axis will pass through focus, other side, okay. So let's join it, and because of marker you are able to get some overwriting here, but always remember your pencil should be sharp enough. This is one ray, and the second ray we can take passing through optical center. So I hope you are able to see. That is, if I say this is X and Y, what you see basically, the two different rays are going parallel to each other. You can see these two rays X and Y are going parallel to each other, and if they are going parallel, so we believe that nearby the lens they cannot converge, because in general the meaning of parallel lines or parallel rays is they cannot converge, or they cannot meet at a point, they cannot intersect. But in the case of lens and the mirror, we believe that if the rays are going parallel, maybe at infinite distance, that is at infinity, they may converge. Okay, so since the rays are parallel, we cannot even draw the dotted line at the back, because that is to be drawn for infinite distance. So we just believe that if the rays are going parallel after passing through the lens, they may converge at the infinity. And if they will converge at the infinity, what will happen at the infinity? The image will be real only, because the rays will finally converge, and that will be highly magnified also. So simply from this diagram we can write down, that is the rays are going parallel. So in this case, very first, this is our object AB, image is at infinity, so we are not writing the image because we are not able to see the image here. So characteristics we can write down, that is image is basically very first real. It will be real because we believe it will form at infinity, and if it is real it will be inverted as well, no doubt. And if you see, with the increase in distance, the distance from the principal axis will also increase. So at you understood, the image will be highly magnified in the case of this, where we are placing the object at focus. So highly magnified we can say. And where it will be formed? It will be formed at infinity. So that is what we have to remember. So if the object is placed at focus of the convex lens, then the rays will become parallel to each other after passing through the lens, that you can see in the diagram also. And if this will come only if your measurements are perfect. If even there is a difference of 1, 2, 3 millimeter, then they may converge or diverge. So in that case, your entire characteristics will go change. That is what you have to remember. So I hope you understood. So when the rays become parallel, we believe that at infinity they will converge, and the image will be real, inverted and highly magnified, and if you understood, this will form the image at infinity. Okay, let's take one more case, last one, and then you can try one yourself. Total 6 cases we have, and I am doing 5 cases. Now let's take object at infinity. That is, if the object is placed at infinity, what will happen to the image by the convex lens? So again, let's quickly draw the diagram. For this case, we don't need lots of measurement. Okay, but still all the time you must do it. Some special cases we have where the measurement should be perfect, otherwise your error will be there. Okay, so this is, I am taking 4 division all the time. Now according to the space you have in the notebook, you can divide your notebook or space. This is my F2, C2, F1, C1. Okay, so object at infinity, and one thing we know, if the object is at infinity, then we believe that the rays will come parallel to the principal axis. That is what we have to remember. So the object at infinity, then rays will come parallel to the principal axis coming from infinity, and you know this ray will come parallel to the principal axis. It will pass through the focus on the other side, so it will converge here. Okay, so this is my first ray X, and now another ray of light again will come parallel only, because object at infinity means all the rays will be parallel to each other. So what will happen to this ray? It will also pass through the same point, that is focus. So this is ray y. So in this case we take infinite number of parallel rays, or we will converge at the focus only, that we know from the concept of the focus. The rays parallel to the principal axis converge at the focus, and that is how we got the definition of the focus also. So here we understood simply that since the rays will finally converge at focus, it will form the image at focus only, and you can see overall this point is showing you the image. So the size of the image will be very small, kind of point size, and that is all the nature we have of a convex lens. And a very simple experiment can be done for this. If you place the magnifying glass, that is convex lens, in the sun such that the sunlight will pass through it, and if you place a paper in front of the lens such that paper will be placed here. So if you place a paper at the focus, then the entire range of light will converge at one point. So what will happen? Each ray is having energy or heat. All the heat or energy will converge at one point, F1, and finally at this point F1, temperature will go higher. So temperature will increase because of collection of the rays of light at single point. So if you place a paper at a particular point F1, then because of excess of heat, the paper may start burning also. So the time you place the paper, very first you will be able to see the image of the sun, that is the rays coming from the sun will converge at the focus. So at the focus, if you place the paper, you will get the image of the sun, which will be very small in size, and with the time the paper can also start burning because of excess heat. And this can also help us to find the focal length. So when we have to do the experiment to find the focal length of a convex lens, we apply the same concept. We place a screen in front of the convex lens, and we take the object at infinite distance such that the rays are coming from infinite distance, and we allow the light to fall on the screen, and we are able to see the image at the focus. And once we get a very clear image on the screen, then we measure the distance between the screen and the lens, and that will give us the approximate focal length of the convex lens. So this experiment can help us, or this concept can help us to find out the focal length of a convex lens. So in place of paper, here we can place the screen, and the object will be at infinity, and we try to adjust the screen so that we can get a very clear image of the object at infinity. And once we get a very clear image, we are basically at the position of focus. So measure the distance between the screen and the lens, and that will give us focal length. So like we did the experiment for concave mirror, same experiment we have for the convex lens, but the difference is in the case of mirror we have the screen in front of the mirror. In the case of convex lens, the screen will be at the other side. So I hope you understood how the image will be formed by convex lens. Now I am going for concave lens. One, you try yourself, okay? So object at C, that is center of curvature. In case of convex lens, you can try yourself. So this is one homework. Only one ray diagram you have to practice, means do it yourself. Rest I have already done. So image by concave lens. So again, one thing we have understood briefly, that if we are talking about convex lens, then this is my F2 and C2, and this is my F1 and C1, if you remember. So our second focus is this side, okay? So main focus is this side, and we have the condition that all the time object has to be placed in the same side, that is left hand side. So in the case of concave lens, again, since the focus, second focus and second center of curvature are on the other side, so we don't have many situations like object at focus, object at center of curvature or something. We'll have just two conditions here, that is object anywhere in front of the concave lens, and object at infinity. So only two cases we have for the concave lens: object at any place in front of the concave lens, and object at infinity. So we are not going to talk about object at focus, center of curvature, because when you talk about at focus, at center of curvature between F and C, that we are basically talking about second focus, second center of curvature that we did for the convex lens. But in the convex lens, this is before the lens, so we are able to apply this concept. But here for the concave lens, we have F2, C2 other side, and we have to place object in left hand side. That is why we just have two conditions, so that you have to remember. That is for concave lens, like we did for the convex mirror. Only we had two conditions. Here also we have just two conditions. Object at infinity. First condition we can take for a concave lens. So things are same. Rules we understood. Draw the concave lens properly, and center is your aperture that can give the reference point also. Okay, so from the center we'll draw the principal axis. That is the meaning of principal axis only, and after this we know this is optical center. We have to take equal divisions. Things will not change, it will remain same, but only thing is here, since the lens is different now, so some rules are different, that is we have understood. So this is my F2, C2, F1, C1. So we know one thing, that object is placed at infinity, the rays of light will come parallel to principal axis. So we'll do the same thing here. Object in infinity means rays will come parallel to the principal axis. So this is the first ray coming parallel to the principal axis, and we know this ray will diverge from F1 according to the rule, and we can do this way. So again you have to remember, the ray of light this side should be solid, but back side it should be dotted. So this is my first ray of light, which is basically diverging from F1. Okay, so I've done overwriting here, but be careful, overwriting should not be there in your paper. So this ray is basically diverging from F1, so that's why backside we have dotted line, in front we have a solid line. So this is the real path of the ray, this is imagination we have. Okay, and another ray of light will come parallel to the principal axis. Again it will happen like it will again diverge from the same focus F1. So we can draw this way, place the marker, place the point. So let's give the name X and Y. So you can see clearly here, that is the two different rays X and Y, they are diverging from each other, and if they are diverging they cannot meet in front, and real image is not possible, we have already understood in this case. So if they are basically diverging from F1, so we can say all the rays that will come parallel to the principal axis will start diverging from focus, and based on the concept the image will be formed at focus only, but that image will be virtual and that will be in the same side of the lens. That is understood here. So object is also left hand side, image is also left hand side, and that was not in the case of convex lens. So from here we understood in general. So image is virtual because the rays basically seem to diverge from F1. So image is virtual, and point size also, that is very small in size, diminished. Then it is forming at focus itself. So formed at focus, that is we can say F1 in the case of concave lens. Okay, and that's all things that we can find out. And if the image is virtual, if it is point size, then we cannot talk about if it is upright or erect or inverted. But still in general, if the image is virtual, it will be upright all the time. Okay, so that is how the concave lens will form the virtual image at focus. If the object is at infinity, that is the one case we have. And let's go for the second case, that is object in front of the concave lens anywhere. Okay, so object in front of concave lens, but not infinity. So the case is, for infinity we have already understood now, but now in this case the object will be somewhere nearby the lens but not at infinity, that is to be understood. So do the same thing, draw the concave lens. Diagram should be neat and clean. Always remember, ray diagram is considered only if it is neat and clean with proper sign, proper direction. Otherwise, ray diagram is not so considered. It's not like anywhere, anyhow you draw the diagram and it will be considered. So just be careful. So this is my optical center, and now let's take equal division both the side. This is 4, 8, and 4 and 8. So this is my F1, C1, F2, C2. So case is anywhere in front of the concave lens, so you can place it anywhere. Okay. So we are not going to talk about between O and F, between F or C. You place anywhere, you'll see in all the case the characteristics will be same. You can try also. So let's place it anywhere in front of the lens and try to find the nature of the image. Okay. So the very first ray parallel to the principal axis. So this is my object above the principal axis, upright object. Now we know this ray will diverge from F1. So place the scale so that it can diverge from focus. So this is the first ray we are getting, X. Okay, but we need one more ray of light, and second ray of light, your choice. We can take it passing through optical center straight away, and we know what will happen to this ray. It will pass without deviation. So you can see X and Y. X is this, Y is this, and they are basically diverging from each other. So if they are diverging, they cannot meet. And here we are getting just one real ray. One is the imagination we have, that is the ray. X is basically diverging from F1. So this dotted is not the actual ray that we know. So overall, we can say these two rays X and Y are diverging, and this is the point where they seem to meet, but actually they are not meeting, we know, because this is not the real ray. This is the dotted line which is just showing you that the ray is basically diverging from F1. So out of two rays, even if one ray is imaginary, then in that case also the image will be virtual. So this case, this is our image, we can say. Okay, so this again should be dotted, and this is your object AB, this is our image A prime, B prime, and remember this is dotted. So from here you can see your AB is the object, and A prime, B prime is the image, and from this diagram you are able to find out the characteristics of the image. So overall what you see, so I'm repeating again, even if out of two rays one ray is really passing through a point, but the other seems to pass through it but it's not passing, in that case also the image will be virtual, because for real image the rays must converge, must meet at a point. Okay, that is not happening here. So see, they are diverging from each other, X and Y, you can see clearly. So it seems they are diverging from this point A prime, and A prime is the image of A, and B prime will be the image of B, that is on the principal axis. So you can see very first image is virtual, no doubt, and you can see image is also upright. So all the time we know the virtual image will be erect or upright, and you can see the size of the object and size of image, it is very small. So image is diminished, and we can write down image is forming on the same side of the object. So we don't need to specify the position, just write down is formed same side as object. So that is the normal or the general condition we have in the case of concave lens. All the time we are going to get the same characteristics of the image. Only at infinity, if the object is at infinity, we get a very diminished image at focus. But in rest cases, all the time image will be having these characteristics. You can try at home. You can place this object away from this F1, close to F1. Just keep moving the object towards the lens, away from the lens, and try to study the nature of image. In all the case, this will be general. But yes, this is correct that with the change in the distance of the object from the lens, the length of the image will vary, will change. But all the time in comparison, the image will be smaller than the object. All the time it will be virtual, all the time it will be upright. So this is your task. Try to see if the object is very close to lens. In that case, what is the size of the image? If the object is quite far away from the lens, what is the size of the image? And then you compare the size of the image in both the case and try to find out how the concave lens can have image formation, or it can form the image of different size depending upon the position of the object. Okay, so that is how you have to analyze yourself. So this I left on you, and that's all we have today in this topic, that is image formed by convex and concave lens. But the only thing is you need to practice yourself, go through each and every ray diagram, do it yourself, and let's see if you are able to get it. And without practice, ray diagram may not be done properly just on directly on the examination. And also try to take different cases, try to do a research work, like if I keep on moving the object here and there, what kind of change will be there in the image, position, and the nature of the image. So that is all we have to do yourself, and any doubt just let me know. We'll discuss in the live class. So for today is done. Just take care. Hari Om. Thank you.